Hello friends, this is Cara-Renee with B.Reborn Art and Healing, coming to you with a craft with me. So I am going to disclaim this right out of the gate. This is not a tutorial. This was a rough process. I watched a video over on Darling Cottage Diary. I wanted a different no-sew journal idea that was not traditional, and it was not an accordion kind of fold. I didn't want an accordion fold no-sew journal. So I think I found the right thing, but it was rough. So I made my template, which I'm going to show you, but we're going to need to make some variations. So the template is not something I would necessarily recommend you follow. I would more encourage you to watch our process together a couple of times to get clarification about what's going to work the best. We might bump into some bumps in the road. We're going to be calm, and we're going to move through it, and we're going to conquer this process. So I wanted a journal for our Christmas Junk Journal prompt challenge. This is spanning November and December over in my Facebook group. The link will be down below in the video description box, so you can check that out. I just noticed how bad that is still bruised. Oh my gosh. From my oral surgery. But anyway, we've got 31 prompts, so we've got plenty of time to complete 31 prompts, because we might have more than 31 days. We'll have more like 40 or 45 days, depending on when you guys decide to start. So I picked some papers from Chapter 1 papers, which we'll talk about in a second. Some gorgeous new kits that I did not have, so I went ahead and grabbed them, though I do not need another single kit for the rest of my life. But I am so inspired by pretty paper that I had to do it. So that's what the journal that we're making is for that challenge. So supplies, I have my Fabri-Tac, my white glue. We're going to need both, but we don't need it quite yet, so I'm going to set that aside. We have a craft knife. We are going to need a craft knife. I have my metal ruler, because that's going to help us do some cutting, and then a ruler in case I need to show you a measurement, and then our bone folder, a pencil, which we will definitely need. And I thought I'd grab these out in case I need to adjust something with that, which will make more sense as we go along. I'm going to move my trimmer because I don't need it right now. My Big Mama is on my table, so I'm going to move that because I may need to turn and do something at that table, or that cart rather. So my pages are 5 1/4 by 8 1/4. The signatures, we're going to do 3 signatures, and they're going to have 4 pages each. So they're going to be small signatures, and so for a total of 12 pages. But front and back, that's still 24, right? 1, 2, wait, no, that's more than that. That's a lot of it's a lot of area to do the prompts in, I guess is what I'm saying. We can supplement that with tip-ins and things like that to get more space if we want to add more things as we go along. I won't be doing this whole challenge on camera, but I will do a video from time to time and show you where my progress is, and I'll be sharing in the group and that kind of thing. So we'll need a mechanism, which is this mechanism here. It's an accordion kind of mechanism, which will make more sense in a minute. We'll need one of those. It will need to be at least 5 1/4 inches high, in my opinion. And the length will be to be determined, because I really struggled with this, and I did 2 templates, and this was the better of the 2. And I have some suggestions on the paper that I used and what I'm going to be using in the actual project today. You'll need a cover sheet, which is your cover, basically. And I would suggest you print it on heavy cardstock. And the reason why is this. So see how that tore? We've got a tear there. And this is 90-pound paper, but it's not I wouldn't say it's a true 90-pound paper. So I grabbed a piece of some pieces of 110 pound cardstock. So I'm hoping that that's going to help us. So you want to print the cover on the heavy cardstock, and you also want to, then there's other elements that are what she called anchors. And they are these pieces in here. So it's a no-sew journal because it's being held in with that hinge. Sorry about that. Oh my goodness, that's making that light change. Oh my goodness, isn't that weird? Anyway, and then this is too small. It needs to fit more in that space, so we will be revising that when we do the real journal. But this holds it all in place. This anchors your pages in. So now let me show you one that's a little bit tighter so that you can see what I'm talking about. So this one's tighter, and so if you take this out, you can actually remove pages from the journal, which I think is epic, but I think this mechanism needs to be cardstock. This needs to be cardstock, and your cover needs to be cardstock, but we'll be going through that together. So you can see it's very, this is very thick. This is, in my opinion, how many pages? I did have 12 pages. It's pretty thick and bulky, and yet it doesn't have a lot of room for growth. So this journal is not going to be about building my typical ephemera, which is rather chunky, I guess would be the best word. We're going to go a little bit simpler with the ephemera in this journal. We're going to be working directly in the journal as I move through the challenge. So you can see you kind of have this open effect. Now, we can decide if we want to cover that. I'm not sure that we'll get through all of this in today's video, but we'll get through the main construction so that you guys can see and decide if you want to give this a try. You're going to have to put your big girl pants on because this was hard. I mean, I felt it was really hard. Now, this is another thing I noticed, which happens in our journals. When you fold your pages, they get pushed out. I like that feathered look. If you don't like that, you could actually trim that off, but you probably want to do it per signature before you actually place it into your mechanism. So I hope that makes a modicum of sense. So I'm going to put that over there. I don't think we'll necessarily need to look at that because we are trying again. It's sort of like doing the template again, but with real paper. So the first thing that we're going to do is I'm going to show you what I decided for the cover. So this is going to be our cover paper, and this is again from Chapter 1 Papers. I just printed the tea stain paper on the back. So even though this will be like this probably. So the flower is going to be sideways, the script is going to be sideways. I don't mind that. So that is our cover. These pieces I reserved for our mechanisms. So I'm feeling like I think I wanted this to be our anchors and this to be what's the other mechanism, the one that's 5 1/4 inches high, which again, all that is going to become a little bit clearer as we go along. So I have 12 pieces of paper here, so let me just show you what I picked. And I did 2 kits, so I think I got 2 kits. I think it was 2 kits. So some of them are primarily red and green, but they have a little bit of mix of blue, and I love the blue in Christmas Digital, so we've got a lot of fun bits here. We've got that red, which I think is a really great pop of color. And then we've got some traditional Christmas, some trees. I printed some background papers on some of them, just the tea stained or some other background paper. And then others I put the digitals on that were not directional. I struggle with my printer getting things to print right when I flip the paper over. So we've got that blue. And then we've got blue here and blue here, and I thought that was a really good match up. And then we've got a ledger here, and then we've got more of the blue paper, and then breaking it up. Oh, that's together. That's not going to work. So we will have to switch that. So let me pull that one out and find another home for it. So that can go there, and that can go there. Maybe we'll just put this one at the end. Yeah, let's just put that at the end like that. Okay, so those are our papers. I did notice I didn't get all the white off. We're not going to fret about that. And we're going to start by getting a bone folder and folding these all in half. I'm going to go ahead and speed this up because this video might be a little bit lengthy. So I'm just going to go ahead and speed through the things that are not super difficult. Okay, so we can rearrange these pages. We'll review that a little bit as we go along. But in fact, let's go ahead and decide that now. Sorry, I'm not going to push that off. So I want to be thinking about my cover piece as well. So I think I want, so it needs to go like that. I guess that would work. Yeah. So let's just put our signatures together as well. So we have 4 pages in each signature, just because I want to have this be as linear in terms of the flow as possible for you guys. So we're going to go ahead and stick that one in there. I do want to trim off that white. It's bothering me. So let me grab the scissors. It's probably just bothering me because it's up against that red. So I'm just going to trim that off. Easy peasy. So the gal I watched, oh my goodness, what a sweet person. She's so soft-spoken, and she's got all that ambiance in the video, and she's like showing things like as she's reaching for tools and using things, and I just think it's a very great aesthetic for a tutorial, because it just keeps everything really calm. I feel like I need something with some red here, so I'm going to go ahead and switch this out. We can do that, right? So we're going to do that, and I think we'll go ahead and insert that blue one there. So is that 4? 1, 2, 3, 4. So there's our first signature. And again, this would be the time, if you wanted to even up those edges, this would be the time to do it. Okay. But as I mentioned, I don't mind that, so we're going to leave it be. Okay. So let's work on the second signature. Just decide what you want. I think I want to capitalize on this blue for the second signature for the first page, and then I want to again mix up those colors so you don't have all your blues together in this case, and all of your reds together. So we'll do that, and then we've got 2 of these. Okay, let's set that one aside for a moment. I do want to make sure that things tie together well though, so I think I'll go ahead and put this one here, and that's how many? That is 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Oh, look at that. Terrible, Cara-Renee. Oh no, it's this. So this is deceiving because it looks like it has a white border, but it does not. I don't believe it does. Let me see. It does not. That's part of the paper. So it keeps throwing me every time I see that. So we're going to go with that for our second signature. There we go. Okay, signature number 2, and then our last one is these papers, which our balance went really, really well. I think I want to go ahead and use this for the front, and then we'll kind of, let's see what we want to do here. Let's see what's on the inside of some of these. Didn't go wild and crazy on some of these. I think I'll turn that one, and I'm not bothered by that. Nope, that doesn't look good. Let's go ahead and go with that. Sorry guys, flipping and flopping, and we'll just do the blue there, and I just feel like that doesn't really go. Why am I struggling? Maybe we will go here with this one. Let's do that. It's not going to matter. It's going to be beautiful no matter what. Okay. Now, when she did her video, she only did, I think her name was Ashley. She only did 2 pages in each signature, which I thought was a little bit odd, but I guess it depends on what you're using your journal for and that kind of thing. So those are our 3 signatures. So the next thing that we're going to do is we need to prepare our pages. So we need to create our mechanism. Sorry, let me get these out of the way. Yikesies. Like I said, it might be a little bit rough, so I do appreciate your patience. So our mechanism, we may have to hinge this. I'm not sure. That's our cover. That's our anchors. So we're going to go ahead and cut this. Now, I did my template at 5, and I feel like it needs to be just a bit bigger than that. So I'm going to go 5 1/4 inches, and this will be height. Okay. 5 1/4, because that leaves us, so our pages are 8 1/4, so that leaves us 1.5 inches on the bottom. Let me just show you here. That might be, what did we end up here with here? Just a second, guys. I didn't get this exactly even between the 2, and so that was 1 3/4, and that one was, oh, they're both 1 3/4. Oh, interesting. And yet our hinge is 5. What? Oh, it was 4 3/4. So let's go 5. Yeah, let's go 5. So I think that's where I've got that. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to cut the other one too, because we might need both pieces. I can't recall off the top of my head. So I'm just going to follow along with this and hold the paper in the same place, so it's a continuous image, basically. Okay. And then what you want to do is, I just use my grid here on my table to do this. So I want the ends of my accordion, or this thing that folds, this accordion fold that is our mechanism, I want it to be longer on each end. So I do believe we have to hinge this end. So I'm going to go ahead and line this up to my grid, and we're going to do the first mark at, what did I do here? I think I wanted to go wider than that. I think I do. I think I want to go 2 1/4 inches in. So from this end, I'm going to make a pencil mark right here. Okay. And then we're going to go, what did I decide I wanted to do? And I think I was going to do 2 inches. No, that's not quite big enough then. I'm going to go with the original plan, which was 2 inches. So it was big enough. I believe it's big enough. So let's just go 2, and then 1.5 inches. So 1.5, 1.5, 1.5. I'm just going to keep marking because I don't know how far I need to go. Okay. And then we're going to start scoring this, and then we'll be able to evaluate what's happening here. So we're going to start scoring from this side so we don't score something unnecessarily. So just lining up to that pencil mark. This is cardstock, so I would do it a couple of times. It's a much thicker paper. She just did her paper by hand in terms of creasing it out. I found that difficult, so I'm going to go ahead and use my bone folder and just get that really, really creased well. Okay, and then the other one is going to be, again, accordion folded. So you can see the difference here. We've got, what is that, about 1/2 inch difference. So I think that's what our measurements indicated as well. Okay. And then again, so I'm going to kind of, it doesn't have to be precise, but I am trying to keep it moderately lined up. So you can see that one's slightly off, but that's okay. Not a big deal. Okay, and that one's slightly off too. Isn't that interesting? I don't think it really matters. Okay, and you're going to see that. Well, let me show you on the template what I mean. So this ends up being the height. So see how we've got plenty of room. This is what's going to control it. So as long as your signatures aren't going to come up above that and be so tall that they come up above that, you're not going to have any trouble at all, in my opinion. So this is where you want to evaluate how many you actually need. So you want your printed side up. I do know that. So we've got, and so we need 3 peaks. So let's just reverse that fold. You need 3 peaks to know that you're done. This was the best I could describe it to myself. So 1, 2, let's go ahead and score that next one. Maybe we don't have to hinge it. I do not recall. I've been fussing with this all morning. It's Saturday. I am taking it easy. I'm reducing the pressure on my life, trying to anyway, but needed to get in here and get some content up on the channel. And I did go down to our garage because it's going to be time for bringing Christmas stuff out, and it's an absolute disaster. And I put my fabric down there, I couldn't even get to it, and I'm like, that's got to change. So yeah, we're going to need to hinge it because we only have 2 peaks right now, and we need 3. So let's go ahead and score this one, our last mark. Okay, and then we're going to have to hinge. Okay, so I'm going to bring over that second piece, and I'm going to hinge it at, I think we should be okay. We'll do it at a 1/2 inch just to be safe. So I'm going to just make a hinge there. Okay, and then I'm going to fold that. Let's give that a burnish here. Okay, and we're going to continue this. So that's going like that, and that's going like that. Let me just get that one burnished there. The last fold. Okay. So you want 3 peaks in the front, but obviously now you don't have anything for the back. So that's why we're hinging. So I'm going to glue this to that. So I'm going to use I think I'm going to use the white glue just because I want to be able to move along here. Hopefully this isn't going to be a problem. Oh boy, the glue is being stubborn this morning. I was working here and I left it uncapped for a while, so it's in its rebellious phase of the day. So I'm just going to flatten that out and I'm going to line that up to that fold. Uh-oh. Oh, it's not the same. Why is it not the same? Okay, what did I do? I think I changed my mind, didn't I? This is 5. Ugh, let me trim that really quick. Oh, at least I'm laughing, guys. So anyway, I was really not wanting to go down to the garage, but I'm like, if I don't do it today, it's not going to happen. And I don't want to use my Thanksgiving break to be going down there and cleaning things up. So I did. It only took me less than an hour, maybe 45 minutes at most. So that was worth the effort there. Okay, so let's do that again. Let's do it again. It's like, what is going on? I don't know if I need to fill this or what, or if it's just rebelling against me. There we go. So we're gonna, again, just line that up. Hope you guys can see okay. I need to stay focused on this so I'm not looking at the camera or my monitor as much as I normally would. Okay, so there's our hinge that's linking those two sections together. Okay, so we've got a peak, a peak, a peak, and then we just need to go, what was it, 2 inches? Yeah, 2 inches from this fold. So I'm going to line that up right there. And I'm going to make a mark, and that's where we're going to cut it off. Okay, right there. Hopefully this continues to go smoothly in my brain. Somehow it's working. So I was like, should I be doing this video today? And then I was down, just reminding me I need to look at my leg. I was down in the garage and I tripped and I fell on a bunch of stuff that was on the floor. And so I've got this big gnarly bruise on my leg. Okay, what? Oh no! Oh, I just did that wrong! I just did that wrong. Let's see if we can take this off. Oh my word. We're weakening that though, so it should be okay though. That was not right. So let me try that again. My apologies, friends. So we need to, we need to rehinge. Is this still over 5 inches? No, it's 5 now. Okay, so we need to rehinge that. So let me, just as I was saying it was going smoothly, don't you know that happens every time? It's okay, we can do this, guys. It's not a tutorial. I'm just showing you, I'm just risking here and doing something I do not normally do. So I just want to point out, this is our peak 1, peak 2, this is our peak 3. So I was actually destroying my peak 3. So let's try that again. I would encourage you to go watch her. Now, because of the aesthetic nature of her process, it was drawn out in terms of like the linear process. But I mean, it was beautiful and I was so grateful and I thought it was lovely, but it made it a little bit harder to go back and capture something that I wanted to to consider again. So there we go. So what do we actually need to do? That's what we actually need to do. Yes, so this is where it needs to be scored. Okay, so I'm just going to do this the rough way. I'm going to make a pencil mark there. That's where it needs to be scored for another fold. And as a YouTube creator, you can only make so many templates. Eventually, you got to sit down at the table and you got to just do it. You got to just jump in with both of your feet and just give it a try. Okay. So now that's that. 3 peaks and a fold. Yep. Let me get that bone folder out here and give that a proper fold. Okay, like that. And then Flipping and flopping. So there's our 3 peaks. This is the open thing. So 1, 2, 3 peaks, and then we want to cut it at the same place as the top piece. So I'm just going to make a pencil mark here. Doesn't have to be precise. They're not going to be next to each other. Okay. Whew. Yay. Done. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a minute and I'm going to ink this up because I do think I want some vintage feel to this. So there's my sponge. So I will be right back. Okay, I don't feel like we need to ink all of the lines, but that's our mechanism, okay? So before we can move on though, we need to, oh, I've got that on the back then. Actually, do we want it this way? We'll have to see when we get there. I'm sorry, that's a point of clarification I'll have to come back to, because when you put your cover page in, it's going to go over this one, and then you want, it depends on what you want to see. So we'll discover that here in a minute. So the first thing that I'm going to do is we're going to work on the cover. So I'm going to grab that cover paper, which is right here. We're going to fold it in half. Again, this is a heavy cardstock. I believe it's 110-pound cardstock, which I only use for very, very particular things. I don't use it very often. So there we go. So that's nice and folded. And then we need to, we're going to do our cutting. So basically this slides in through a slit in this piece and through our signatures as well. So because we've got an image on the front, I'm going to go ahead and turn this the other way for cutting, and you'll see me do that through all of the pages as well. So I'm going to turn that over like that, and then what we're going to do is, let's go this way so that we have this on the right, and I'm just going to turn this over. Actually, it doesn't matter. We'll flip that back. So I'm not aiming for perfection here as far as lining up. I am just kind of lining it up on my grid here. And then I'm lining it up here as well so that I can get my accordion mechanism here in the middle. Okay. And I'm going to go like that and hope it doesn't move. And I'm going to make a, so it can't be exactly this height. So remember we talked about this. This ended up being 5 inches tall. We want it to be a little bit bigger. So I'm going to go about 1/8 of an inch beyond the edge there. Okay, like that. Okay, does that make sense? I don't know why that's happening with my lights. I'm going to try to turn the lights on and see if that helps. I feel like we've got some funny things happening here. Just a moment. Let me just try the lights here, see if that helps us today. It's not terribly dark out or anything. I'm going to also turn the fan off. Sometimes that creates a problem. It'll take a moment for that to stop turning, but there we go. Okay, so that's what you're doing, okay? So it's just slightly bigger. That slit is going to be slightly bigger than the width, than the height of this. Okay, so this is where our metal ruler is going to come in, or whatever you have. I have so many knives, and this is the one that worked the best. So, but it's the one I prefer the least. So I don't like exposed blades, so then you need to open this up. I'm going to go ahead and ink this area here just so we can see it for the camera. Okay. And we're going to cut between those two lines right on the inked line. Okay. If your knife is iffy, go ahead and do it twice. That needs to come down. It's too weak. Too weak. There we go. So you should have a cut all the way through like that. Okay. So I'm just going to show you how this is going to look. So this is our cover. Okay. So when you put this in, I think we want it to actually go the other way. So nope, we want it to fold. Let's fold that the other way and see what we end up with. Guys, so sorry. So sorry. to say this often, I don't do upside down, backwards, and inside out very well, because when this goes in for our first, just our cover, it's going to go like this. And you want something decorative to pop around there, not the tea stain paper. So it looks like our coffee or tea stain paper is going to be here, which is fine. Not a big deal. So that means I do want to ink these, this side as well. So let me do that really quick before we move on. It's really interesting. We have some weakness in our cardstock, which I would never have expected. We've got a weakness there. I don't think it's a problem, but that was surprising. Okay, so again, I just want to show you what this is going to look like. So it's going to go through here, and then this is going to get glued on here. And then our next signature is going to go on here. Our next signature is going to go on here and on here. So 3 signatures right there. And then we'll glue it after the fact. Okay, so now we need to get our papers ready. So I'm going to set that aside. But we're going to need the mechanism. Well, actually, I could probably use this. Let's use this as our guide because it's already marked. And so let's go. So each of these needs to be opened up. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'll show you a few and then I'll probably speed that up because you will have already seen it enough times. So again, just lining that up, using this kind of as my template, making a mark and a mark. Okay. I do want to flip those back so that I can keep this straight. So that's the first page, second page. I hope this is making sense. It really confounded my mind. I was a little bit frustrated. Oh, why is that taller? Interesting. Interesting. We will look at all these pages to make sure we haven't gotten anything all weirded out here. So I think my pages, I wonder if they're truly 5 1/4. Yeah, they are. So I think I might have bought the wrong kit. I think I got the A4 size. I don't know for sure because everything seems a little bit off on my digitals from this purchase. It's not a huge deal. That one's upside down because I guess it doesn't really matter, does it? It doesn't matter. I've got a lot of white showing here, which is what makes me think that either I printed it wrong or I've got the A4. I didn't. Usually when I buy from her, I have to fill the page and then I can get it to print a bigger section. So that is our first signature. So I think we'll cut these and then I'll speed up the other, or I'll cut out the other 2 signatures cutting because you don't need to see that 12 times. So I don't think. So let's go ahead and move along. So again, I'll show you the cutting. I'm going to turn this upside down because my marks are on the right side of the line here. So I can see my fold, so I'm not too concerned about that not being inked. If inking helps you do that, okay. So yesterday I went to work, it was Friday, and I was in so much pain, you guys. I had the worst earache, I think, of my entire life. And so I did some searching, and it's a side effect basically of this work that I had done in my mouth, because anytime you have work done on your lower jaw, it will have referred pain up into your ear. And I was at work all day and I was nearly in tears. Like it was so bad. So uncomfortable. And then when I went to bed last night, it was still pretty sore and I had a headache all day and it was just nasty. And then today I woke up, I was still a little sore this morning, but it got better in the early part of the morning and I was fine. I'm feeling pretty good now. It does not even hurting to talk at the moment. So yay, you get to hear me talk again at length. Jibber jabber jibber jabber. There we go. This knife is cutting better, but it makes me more, because it feels like it's all wiggly and not very sturdy. But this is our last one, and then I will do the other ones, and I'll just cut that part out for you guys again so that you don't have to see that. But we will, when I'm off camera, I'll ink all the pages as well, and then we'll come back and start inserting all of this into our hinge mechanism. But before we do that, let me just get these back in order. Before we do that, I think I'm gonna, well, we can't really, I can't show you the anchors until we get to a place where that is gonna make sense. So we'll pause on that. So this is our page 1. This was our page 2. I believe we had those back to back, right? Make sure they're going in the right direction. We'll double check, but we'll go this way. And then maybe we'll go this way with this. Nope, because they're the same. That's okay. Let's just do that. So that is signature 1 done. So I'm going to do the other 2 again, and I'll be back. Okay, this is the last signature page. Inking. I feel like I've been inking for 20 minutes. So inking, and then that's not counting all of that cutting, but I'll show you here what I've come up with. Just doing the last page. My arm is now very well exercised. There we go. So let's see what we've got here. Okay. I think we got everything. Yes. So let's get that out of the way. So I made sure that my other signatures were all in the order that I wanted them to be in. As we talked about, we have more of the sepia tones and the first signature, blue tones on the front of the middle signature, and then the brown again here. But I think I want to reverse. No, I did want this there, didn't I? Didn't I? Let's do that. I think I had a double page here of the background. Yes. So we want to do something different here. So we're going to have to separate these two because otherwise they're going to be together. So let's do that. Why not? It's all going to be beautiful, as I mentioned. Okay. So that's 1, 2, and 3. So let's bring our mechanism back over here, and we're going to get to the fun stuff, okay? I think it's the fun stuff. So I'm going to grab my Fabri-Tac here. I'm going to use that because I like the ability to move things around. So again, we're going to go ahead and I think this time we're going to secure this because I think it will help us work without this sliding off. So we've already got all of our cuts, okay? And again, this is going to, yeah, it's going to go like this. Going to go in like that, okay, and then it's going to go, that's going to get glued, okay. It's coming into those flowers, which I'm not a big fan of, but that one's upside down. The page is upside down. The page is upside down. I want it this way. Okay, let's try that again. So we're going to lose that flower, which is a bummer, but that's what I chose, so we're not gonna change our mind on that. So I actually am going to use my white glue because I need this to stick fast. So I'm going to use my larger bottle. This is actually art glitter glue. If you know me, I do not tend to be friends with art glitter glue, but we're going to use it on this. So we're going to go ahead and just glue this down. And as I was inking, I was thinking of a variety of things I wanted to mention to you. If you could swing doing all of your papers for this kind of journal on 110 pounds cardstock, I would recommend it. Okay, because I get concerned about the weakness of our slit. So I'm just gonna ink that up really quick there. Boom. It's gonna be amazing though. Look at that. Okay. So that's going to hold still now. I was struggling with that because I'm like, how am I going to work with this? Okay. Now we're flat. Okay, so our first signature was which one? This one is our first, I guess. Was this the first? I don't know. So we're going to open this up, okay, and our slits are already in there. As I mentioned, I did all the rest of them off camera. I found the easiest way to do this was to kind of get this pointed in at the corner of this bit, so it's a little bit hard to do like that. So get that corner in there, and then I found it was less frustrating to get in. So let's finagle that all in. Uh-oh. Are you kidding me? Nope. It's just tight. Better tight than not tight, okay? It could have been a little bit of a bigger slit, so let's see if we can kind of wiggle that a little bit. That's really tight. Let's see if we can crease that and see if that will help. I didn't really want that coffee dyed paper in the middle, but it is what it is. Okay, so that is our first signature. Is it not all the way in there? It feels like that's off. Let me pull that in again. I feel like it's not all the way pulled up, and I don't want to tear anything. Look at that. It's a difference there. Not sure what's happening. But I don't want to wreck it, so we're gonna go with it. Okay. Next signature is gonna go in the same fashion. So I'm gonna again try to poke that corner of that hinge right in here. I think I didn't do my slits big enough is what's going on here. Let's see if I have the same trouble with this one. Can't even find it. Come on. Come on. Come on in. We want you on the other side of the world here. There we go. Now that one was looser, so I must have got something a little bit off on that other one. So see how that's laying? That's really, really good. And then, but we've got an extra bit there. It's like it's pushing it out for some reason. I'm not loving how that is. We've got this bend here because of our hinge, but I think it's going to be okay. And we're going to slide the last one in there, same way. Okay, we're going to poke that up there. I'm just going to hold this up because I think that might make it just slightly easier. Just reaching my fingers in there, getting that corner. Where are you? It's like it's working blindly, guys, to be honest. This is not easy. Let's try this. There we go. Nope, we got to get it through all the pages, Cara-Renee. All the pages. Oh my goodness. There we go. Just need to get that corner, and then you can kind of wiggle it and get it back where you want it to go. There we go. Yes. So that is not going to be a problem, and we'll cover those so they don't look so boring. Okay. So in order for this journal to stay together, you have to have an anchor in here. So that's what we're going to be doing next. So let's see what this total width is here. So we've got it's a 1 1/4. So we want to go almost to 1 1/4. So I'm going to go ahead and bring this over, and that should be able to go this direction. Okay, so we're going to go just slightly smaller. I'm not going to give you an exact measurement because it's an off measurement, and we might have to adjust it. So I'm going to just try this first one and see if it's a good fit. I'm just going to bring my trimmer over. I'm going to turn this because it's on this short side. Okay. And what's going to happen is this is going to slide in here, okay? This is going to slide in here. Let's try it from the other end here. I'm directionally impaired, apparently, even with upside down paper. I think it might be too, nope, it's just right. So we're going to slide that in, and then we're going to decide how much of the hinge we want. I don't want a ton, or the anchor, because I don't want it to get bent. So I'm going to go about right there. So I'm going to go ahead and now I'll use this as my template for the other two. Okay, so let's just go ahead and cut 2 more and I'll be right back. Just finishing inking up those anchors as well, just because I don't want that to be, I want them to blend in. So we've got 3. So we're going to go ahead and slide this in again. I don't know why I'm having trouble doing it from the top. Human limitation here, Cara-Renee. There we go. And again, this definitely needs to be cardstock because otherwise this is just gonna get all bent and it's gonna get really problematic. So that is that, and then we've got this one here. So we'll just cinch that up here. Okay, make sure it's pulled as tight in there as possible. Slide our other anchor in here. This was so out of my wheelhouse, you guys. I'm so proud that we got this done because I was really wondering if I could accomplish this process and be sane on the other side. I am still sane, and I think it's going to be a perfect journal for our challenge for the holiday. So again, the last one right there. Okay. Okay, there you go. Uh-oh. What is happening? Look at that. That is not good. What happened? We got so thick. Why did we get so thick? Oh, I know what happened. Okay, this has got to go through the here. Goodness gracious, I almost forgot. So this flap for the back needs to go back in. Look, we're tearing. Even with cardstock, heavy cardstock. Oh my goodness, I do not like that. We are going to probably reinforce this with some fabric. So let me just wrap this. See, look at how we're not even even. We're not even even. Look at that. That's terrible. Okay, let's bend that back. That was totally unexpected, guys. We've got so much ripping and tearing here. I'm not sure how she managed to not have that happen. I don't know if our slits were not wide enough, but we'll take care of that. We'll put some lace over the top. We might do that now because I don't want to have that process be broken for you. So, but look at how different our front cover is from our back. This is not as wide. I mean, it's going to be okay. It's just a prompt journal, but I don't know how I would solve that. It's the distribution of the signatures that's causing that. So that's already glued. So let's glue the back. Oh, that's so unfortunate. I did not expect that. I'm just going to try to crease that and have it meet up, making sure I don't get a bunch of glue in there. So that was a bad surprise. I'm not sure how to solve that problem. But we're going to just accept this. It was a new process, and I think it's going to be beautiful nonetheless. So I'm going to just really pull that tight and let that set. And then we're going to get some lace. So I think lace would complement that. And this is very problematic, guys. I'm so unhappy about that. I think probably what happened is I did not make my slices, my slits wide enough, so it put pressure there. But for this purpose, it's going to be fine. If you were to do this, I would do it a little bit differently and maybe make this a little bit shorter so that you have more space here, and you can elongate that slice. So give me a second to find some lace. I think this is what I'm leaning towards. It's just kind of going like that. Yeah, I think we'll do that. So that would be my best advice, guys, is make your slices, your slits, make this shorter, make your slices larger, if that makes sense. So I'm going to try to even up this edge here. I'm going to try to grab my sewing scissors here. Sorry, this video might be a little bit long, guys. You can certainly speed me up. I did not want to cut anything out because I feel like it's all important. So I'm just going to try to even this lace up here. Okay, yeah. So I want that to go like that. I'm just going to take this off the spool. We're just about at the end of it. So I wonder if we went like that. Just thinking out loud, guys. Just a second. Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. So I'm going to cut this off here so I don't have a bunch hanging out here getting in my way. I'm going to grab a paper towel for some glue oozing. Okay. So I have to be very careful there. I feel almost like, I just don't know what to do. I almost feel like I need to take those pages back out and make the slit bigger. To alleviate. This is my journal though, so I'm not going to worry about it. I don't want to get glue in there. That's mainly what I'm talking about here. And I don't want to get, I want to just glue here and then here where it's going to be touching this front bit. So I'm going to just line this up again just to get an idea visually of where I need my glue to be. So I'm going to go about here using my Fabri-Tac, and I'm just going to start here and then we'll work to the edge slowly. Now, when she did her tutorial, as I mentioned, she only had 2 signatures in 2 pages in each signature. So I imagine that's why we weren't seeing any issues. I wasn't seeing any issues in the video. So there's got to be a way to kind of gusset that edge. I'm just not sure right now how you would do that. So I'm going to go ahead and put this down and try to get it. Well, I didn't get it exactly where I wanted it. Let's pull it this way a bit. I think I got extra glue there. That was unintended. I went too far in, but that's okay. Just going to push that down with my paper towel. Helps me to not get my fingers too sticky. This would have been really pretty with a decorative edge scissors or a punch or something, so that didn't look so squarish, but we'll do something with that later. Okay, is that even Steven-ish? Is it? What is it? There we go. I'm going to try to trim this off. I'm going to go off the table here, guys. Okay, last bit. I went too far with this glue again. Silly me. Silly me. It's okay. I might do some decorating on the covers. Oh, this is the back cover, so it's not going to really matter. And I did put a little bit of glue just right there and there where my thumbs are. It looks like I didn't get that quite trimmed up enough, but I'll deal with that later. Later, alligator. Okay, well, let's deal with it now because it's bugging me. I just didn't get it straight. That's okay. That looks good. So again, that is our front. This is gorgeous. So I still might fudge with those slices. I'm not sure I will because I don't want to mess with this again, but you can see how it turns. It does hitch a little bit there because that's on that, that connector. But look at this. It's absolutely beautiful. I love it. I love it. So I think that was my problem, is my slices needed to be bigger because it's putting pressure. So I'll have to think about whether or not I want to make those slices bigger. I'll let you know in the next video if I did alter that, because that's the beauty of this design and this binding, is that you can remove this, okay? Take that out, take your page out, make that slit bigger. Easy as pie, okay? So I'm going to think about that. I'm not going to make a decision right now. We'll see how it goes, because even as I use it and add to it, we can make an evaluation as to whether or not it needs to have that pressure alleviated or not. I don't think it's going to go anywhere. We've just got those little tears, but they're not even visible. Well, they're visible. That's visible there, which is unfortunate. But I'm wondering if you took your cover page and you did some score lines and you gave yourself about 1/2 inch, if you could avoid that problem. So that would be something to consider next time. And I will try this style again because I think it's really beautiful. So that is it for today, guys. I hope that wasn't too frustrating and was helpful for you. That is, I'm going to go back to my mantra. My life's mantra is to show up and be in the arena. And what I mean by being in the arena is taking risks. And taking risks not where it feels the safest, because this didn't necessarily feel safe to me, but it's important to grow. So to put yourself out there, try something new, try something hard, try something that you're not assured that you are going to succeed at, and do it anyway. Do it anyway. Fall down, get back up, learn what you could have done differently, and then try it again. And be content with the results, because I think this is absolutely going to be an astounding journal. I love it already, and I haven't even started working in it. So that is my encouragement to you guys. I thank you for allowing me this space to be vulnerable and to bring myself to the table and show you, to model for you what it looks like to show up and not really be sure of what you're doing, and not, I don't feel like I want to delete the video or anything. It's just like, I knew that this was going to be hard and I was going to do it anyway. So I will see you guys in the next video. Take care. Bye-bye.